Hi, it is Mark here. Thursday, July the 30th, 8:30 a.m. Eastern US session underway. And let's have a look at the US dollar performance going into today's US session. We had the FOMC, the Fed meeting yesterday, which the net result of that Fed meeting was a weak US dollar. US dollar sold off. Markets pretty much uncertain yesterday following the new Fed chairman, Warsh's kind of change of traditional attitude in terms of, or policy, should I say, in terms of the Fed always giving forward guidance as to future direction. He made quite clear the markets will decide everything, and that uncertainty certainly led to a US dollar sell-off yesterday. Have a look at the red candlestick on the index, came down strong, and US dollar continuing to be sold off today. Tried higher, there's the wick, but now red candlestick again, adding to yesterday's losses. We'll see now that the US session is underway if that does continue. I've got support at 142. I've got resistance at 189. Sellers will look to test this stubborn support level, and then it would be looking down at the 100 mark. Or if buyers do step in, if we see a turnaround, they'll look to bounce up off this area, look back up at the getting close to the 101 level. But weak US dollar to start today, following up from yesterday's sell-off. Let's have a look at the majors, starting with the Euro US. There you see yesterday's strong Euro US green candlestick, buying euro, selling US dollar. That's US dollar weakness in the pair, very strong push higher and continuing so far today. Tested a bit lower, but now higher than yesterday, testing this resistance level at 114.81. We'll see whether this can continue. Buying euro, selling US dollar weakness, and break above this level and extend this new uptrend. Or if sellers do step in, so from weak to strong US dollar and selling euro, buying US, and they'd be looking back down at the support level, which is sitting at 114.34. Let's have a look at the pound against the US. And there you see similar pattern. There's the strong push yesterday, weak US dollar, buying pounds, buying pound, selling US dollar, and then continuing today, almost a crossover on the EMAs, on the daily EMAs. I've got support at 133.29, and I've got resistance at 134.06. Again, let's see whether US dollar weakness continues, and it's buying pound, selling US, green candlestick, and extend this and build on this new uptrend about to be formed. Or if we get a turnaround from weak to strong US dollar and sellers push down from this resistance area and look back down at the 133.29. Let's have a look at the US dollar against the yen. And there you see again, and even continuing stronger today. There's yesterday's sell-off, that's selling US, buying yen, that's weak US dollar, following yesterday's Fed announcement. Continuing today, I've got resistance at 163.76. So the US did try to fight back unsuccessfully, and I've now got support at 162.30. We'll see whether that can be continued. There is a bit of a bounce. If I zoom in on the hourly, there you see the US has attempted a fight back off the support level, but so far sellers back in control on the hourly for now. You can see that. We'll see how that does play out. And then let's have a look at the US against the Canadian. US Canadian behaving a little differently because we've seen strong Canadian together with oil being sold off. The two do go together. There's a strong sell-off yesterday, selling US, buying Canadian, weak US dollar, plus oil being sold, a weak oil yesterday, both contributed to the strong push lower. I've got support at 140.29. That support tested and then a bounce up. Today also was tested. Little green candlestick so far today. That would be an attempt by the US to fight back. We'll see whether that can amount to anything and whether buyers can get back up to this resistance at 140.70 or higher, or if we see a continuation of this downtrend, selling US, buying Canadian, and a push lower and a look to test the 140 level. Perhaps the sell-off weak oil would contribute as well. Good trading, and I will see you at the end of the day.